A problem a proponent of the swoon theory must overcome is how Jesus could have been mistaken for one resurrected, healed of his injuries and restored in a glorified body. Beyond vague and self-implicating appeals to the gullibility or ignorance of humans, what do they have to offer? For the sake of argument, let's grant that a barely alive Jesus was placed into Joseph's tomb. Would he be able to recover enough to exit the tomb on his own? Given the probable size of the stone, and what it was likely made of, the stone would weigh about a ton. A critic may argue that perhaps Jesus could have pushed the stone over, because after all, the average person can rock and move an object like an automobile very easily. However, an automobile is easy to rock because it has shock absorbers, and easy to move because it has wheels. This is not the same as lifting and pushing over a vehicle, which is quite another matter. Let's also keep in mind the state of Jesus' health if indeed he survived. Add all this together, and will our victim, Jesus, push over the stone that guards his tomb? Will he even get up? He might roll his body onto the floor, at best. What of the fact that the Gospels describe a single person rolling the stone into place? Doesn't this mean a single man could roll it away? This is merely the language of representation. Joseph no more rolled the stone himself than Pilate scourged Jesus by himself. A man of Joseph's stature and wealth certainly had servants or paid burial tradesmen to do this work for him. A related issue asks the question, what type of stone covered the tomb? It may be supposed that a certain type of stone might have been easier to move than another. There were two types of tomb designs that may have been used. One, which reflects the traditional picture of Jesus' tomb, was a rolling disc that was set in a groove and rolled down the groove over the front of the tomb opening. The second type of tomb had a large plug-like stone. The argument is that the Gospels depict this first type, which is easier to move, while the second type would have been harder to move, since it would have had more drag along the ground. But it's doubtful even so that the first type of stone would have been easier to move. By the design used, the stone would have to be rolled uphill into the side to open the tomb, or else perhaps tipped over slightly to permit an exit through an opening created at the top of the tomb entrance. But the stone would be far too heavy for either of these operations. A study by the archaeologist Amos Kloner shows that at the time of Jesus, 98% of the tombs would have had a stone of the plug variety. The other 2% were rolling stone tombs belonging to the very rich, which does leave open a chance that the rolling stone type was used since Joseph was in that 2% category, but it's a very slim chance. It's been argued by certain people that because the Gospels refer to the stone as rolled away, this implies a circular object. But the word used for roll is used in other places to refer to objects that are not circular. It rather indicates that the object, as it moved, was turned over and over so that it presented multiple surfaces, just like a pair of dice. There's not much else to tell us which type of stone covered Jesus' tomb. Matthew hints at a plug sort of stone when he says that an angel sat on it. There would not have been much room for an angel to take a seat on a disc. That was the take on the swoon hypothesis. In our next segments, we'll have a look at another wacky variation to explain away the resurrection of Jesus. See you then.